everybody, thanks again for tuning into Spreeisms, my blog all about mental health and finding ways to protect your peace. I'm Kirsten Spreewell, aka Spree, your resident therapist, and this week's topic is whole wellness. So I thought it was important to talk about this issue as we continue to discuss all of these social inequities that people of color, especially Black people, face. And so talking about a system that consistently oppresses us, and we have already discussed how it affects us mentally, how it traumatizes us, how it affects us socially. And I want to also include how these things negatively impact our genetic makeup. So when we look at this system who continues to oppress us, and although that's not our fault, it is our responsibility to prioritize our whole wellness. It is really, to me, an act of radical resistance against this system. And so I want to give a few tips as I continue to make commitments to myself about how I'm going to treat myself better. I want to urge you all to do these things as well. And so I'll just give a couple little tips for each little facet of our lives. So stay tuned. Let's just start with financial wellness, which is basically just around living within your means and being able to plan for emergencies, having a savings, and also for us, especially as Black people, I think we need to have multiple streams of income. And so financial wellness is around creating these things and being able to sustain all of these things. So that could be budgeting, really identifying what you want to prioritize in your spending, and doing these things to become really financially well, financially sound. Whether that is also around taking financial literacy classes for yourself. All of these things can be helpful in us being able to achieve financial wellness. So next we will discuss environmental wellness, which really is about taking care of the global community and also your immediate surroundings, right? Having a place that is clean and clear of negative energy. Some of us live with other people, and so the environment may not be healthy, right? You may live in a toxic environment. So it's important to prioritize that as well, as much as you can. And then also just recycling, kind of decreasing your carbon footprint, getting rid of old things, decluttering your space, donating things that no longer serve you, and really just having things in your space, in your environment that bring you joy and add value to you. Social wellness really involves having a strong social network, people to lean on, people that really support you and add value in your life, right? We keep talking about this word value. It's really important in your social settings in order to have social wellness that you are able to add value to other people's lives as well. You feel important in your social setting. You feel wanted or needed at times in a healthy level. All of these things are really important for our social wellness, and it's something that I think when we talk about mental health and mental wellness is not discussed a lot, right? Your social setting and your social support, those natural supports, people who aren't getting paid to help you out, people who really are there for you, right? This is really big as far as mental wellness goes as well. And so you want to have a good tribe. You want to have a good friend group. And if we always talk about, Xing people out, canceling people, and things like that. A thing that is really, I think, underrated as far as social wellness goes is being able to address conflicts and being able to communicate with the people around you about what your boundaries are, and all of these different things that go into your interpersonal relationships. These are very important to address with your social health, your social wellness. We we all know this next one, physical wellness. It's really not around having no waist or looking like an Instagram model. It is really about being able to move your body, being able to exercise and eat well, really getting that nutritional health. Drinking water, drinking water, drinking water. These are all things that go into our physical health as well, right? These things are important to really combat the chronic health issues that a lot of people have due to systematic racism. A lot of people in our communities are not really having access to healthy foods. And so when we prioritize our physical health and really find ways to make sure that we are eating well, that we are exercising, even though there's not always places to exercise in our neighborhoods, that we are getting all of our nutrients and making sure that we are, whether you live on a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, keto, whatever that looks like for you, you're doing the things that personally keep your body feeling good, feeling energetic, right? Because I know when I eat a lot of meat, I am tired, lethargic, edgy, and all of these things. So for me, physical wellness means going to the chiropractor consistently. It means exercising at least twice a week, and it means kind of staying down on the meat, maybe eating more fish and veggies and smoothies. These are the things that keep me energized, and so I know how I like to feel, and I do things that make me feel good. Now, this was a new one for me, intellectual wellness. And they talk about how this one is really about being curious and engaged and learning new things. And it's really about, it could be social as well. It could be getting into politics, getting into social groups, or the things that you like to learn in school. What are those things? Learn more about those things and do your own independent studies, whether that's reading for pleasure or whether that is really just researching different things so you can have good conversation in social settings. These are all things that are intellectual, a part of intellectual wellness. And for me, I love watching TED Talks. So that's something that's like a calm down, chill thing. Just watch a bunch of TED Talks, learn some things, but I'm really not doing any physical activity of having to learn, like actually reading it or actually studying something. I can listen and get access to all of this new information. And so that's something for me that I do for intellectual health. It could even really just be having a conversation with my boyfriend. He's like a walking encyclopedia. So that is for me, a part of my intellectual wellness. I'm being intellectually stimulated, okay? So these are things that we should do. Hit up your smart friend, study some politics, get into, an intellectual conversation on Twitter. Whatever that looks like for you, feed and stimulate yourself intellectually. Okay, the next one, occupational well-being. I don't know if I made this one up or if this is actually a thing, but what we want to talk about as far as occupational well-being goes is really big because we spend a lot of our time, most of our time, at work. And so you want to do things as far as earning an income, but these are things that you're going to be spending so much of your time doing. They should really add value. They should really be mutually beneficial. They should really bring joy. And so you don't want to be at a job and occupation that you absolutely hate. Whether you realize that you're just not a person that works well when you're working for someone. So you need to really work on building your own things and, being your own boss. Or whether that looks like, hey, I'd rather work for a Black-owned company somewhere that somebody values me. That's what I did. Another thing, just as far as occupational wellness goes is being able, it kind of goes hand in hand with financial well-being, because you want to be able to really have lateral movement, be able to move up, whether that just be in leadership or financially. Is there room for financial growth here? And if I don't see that, then really it's really stifling you in other areas, whether that be emotionally and mentally, or whether that be socially. And just really look at your goals, your long-term goals, and see how your current occupation can really add value to your long-term goals. Do those things line up? And being able to be real enough with yourself and say, hey, this is really the step that I need to be at in order to get to the next step to really achieve my long-term goals. Or really, hey, this has nothing to do with, how I want to live my lifestyle or the things that I want to achieve in my future. This job is not really adding value in any way, and so it is important to check into that occupational well-being. Not too much coworker drama in this space. All of these things that you look at when you're getting into a place that you really want to work. These are the things that contribute to your occupational well-being. Okay, so spiritual well-being really goes just into your ethics, your morals, your values, being able to really identify these things and express yourself spiritually. I don't want to go into religion because that's not necessarily spiritual, but if you do connect those two, going to church consistently is a part of spiritual well-being. If that's part of your activities, it can also be, just meditating daily. This is a part of spiritual well-being, being able to connect with your higher power, in all of these different ways that you can connect, right? And tap into your spiritual your spiritual well-being, your spiritual side of yourself, right? These are all important things that go into spiritual well-being, the practices, and being able to present yourself as a spiritual person as well, if that's who you are, right? If that part is being stifled in any way, you're not going to be able to fully be your whole self. And so that is important as well. So lastly, the emotional well-being really goes into the mental well-being as well. And so emotional well-being can also go into your sleep, your physical activity, your eating. All of these things can contribute to your emotional well-being. Being able to manage stress and overwhelm, being able to address things that negatively impact you emotionally, right? Things that hurt your feelings. Are you able to communicate your feelings and express how you have been affected by something? Are you able to really assess how you are emotionally and be able to check in with yourself, like, hey, I'm not feeling so good today, I'm kind of being mean to people today, whatever these things look like for you. When you are not so emotionally well, being able to prevent these things as well is all a part of your emotional well-being. And so they go into mental health because when these negative emotional issues pathologize, they become mental health issues. They become borderline personality disorder. They become bipolar disorder. They become anxiety disorder. They become all of these things when you're not able to really check in with your emotions and manage and really just, emotionally regulate. So we want to be able to really check your emotional well-being. And all of these little things, all of these pieces make up of you as a whole person, right? Make up of the whole puzzle. And so we want to make sure that every piece of the puzzle is addressed And like I said, my biggest thing with Black people and prioritizing whole health is really looking at this as, hey, on a daily basis, Black people are under attack. And so, in order to counteract the negative effects that come from that, we must be able to radically self care on a daily basis. We must prioritize these things on a daily basis because on a daily basis, we are systematically oppressed. On a daily basis, we face microaggressions and negative things. On a daily basis, we are living in food deserts. On a daily basis, all of these negative things are really affecting us as a people. And we, like I said, this is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to prioritize our whole wellness. And so I just wanted to share these thoughts with you all as we continue to discuss the ways that we can combat the effects of systematic racism. We can also take this responsibility in this time to figure out how we can address our whole wellness as an individual and as a people. Until next time, I wish you all your version of success, happiness, and peace.